Hey guys, it's Karen. As you know, I adopted my pup Rocky from a local rescue. When people asked me what kind of dog Rocky was, I was always stumped. I used an Embark dog DNA test to decode my most puzzling questions about Rocky. You can also learn about your dog's inner secrets with Embark, the highest-rated dog DNA test. Unlock over 350 breeds and screen for over 200 genetic health risks. Save $50 on a breed and health kit with promo code KIT at embarkvet.com. Again, that's promo code KIT.
Millions of Americans are getting back to work. CareerBuilder calls it the great rehire. And we want to help you get the best jobs before everyone else. CareerBuilder gives you the competitive edge to get the job you want, at the salary you want, with the benefits you want. We even send job alerts, so your perfect job lands right in your inbox. Go to CareerBuilder.com today, or get left with whatever jobs are left. Find your next job fast at CareerBuilder.com.
Hey, it's Ben Maller. This podcast is sponsored by M1 Finance. When it comes to your financial fitness, it's best to prepare for the long game. M1 Finance gives you all the tools you need to grow your wealth without charging any management fees, so you can put more of your money where it counts. Plus, with the Finance Super app, you can invest, borrow, and spend all in one place, making it easier to see the big picture. Visit m1finance.com/Ben Maller. That's M1 with the number 1 to sign up and get a $30 bonus when you make a $1,000 deposit after approval. Terms and conditions apply. Investing involves risk, including the risk of loss. M1 Finance, member FINRA SIPC. Hello and welcome. It's our number one of our radio program, and our lead this hour coming from the NFL, where Jets hotshot rookie quarterback Zach Wilson drawing praise compared to Patrick Mahomes and Hall of Famer Dan Marino. How much stock do you put in to the words of Tony Romo, a ringing endorsement of Zach Wilson, the Jets rookie quarterback? We have the audio tape. We'll play it for you, and we'll break it down right now in our number one. The Green Machine, welcome in the beginning of another edition of the Ben Maller Show. We are together in the air everywhere as we have a whale of a time, coast to coast, border to border, and beyond on the vast and powerful microphones of FSR, emanating live from the cosmos, hanging out on a little blue marble, spinning around the Milky Way, the Fox Sports Radio studios in the North Woods. And we are back at it again tonight. And we have no football this weekend, but we have plenty of football stuff. And our lead this hour coming from the National Football League, the thing that keeps the lights on around here. So Hump Day, an opportunity randomly for several big-name broadcasters to wax poetic about the upcoming NFL season. Chance for the national broadcasters, a few of them, to opine with predictions and analysis on all things pigskin. Now, the focus of several of these individuals was one Zach Wilson, who he's the hotshot, highfalutin quarterback of the Jets, the latest messiah of the JETS suck. Now, one comment in particular got our attention and rose up to the level of full Maller monologue treatment. That would be CBS talking head Tony Romo. Now, Romo stole the show as he gushed all over the rookie from BYU. Now, I don't know if you heard it, maybe not, maybe you missed it. So Tony Romo suggested that Zach Wilson is in the same stratosphere as Patrick Mahomes, and he said he could be in a top 5 quarterback, top 3, top 5 quarterback very quickly, can make up for a lot of weaknesses. Now, this is the second time we learned that Romo had said this within the last week. Last week, Romo compared Zach Wilson, the Jets rookie quarterback, to Hall of Famer Dan Marino and Mahomes. We actually have proof on this. I think we have some audio we can play here. As Warner Wolf would say, just to prove I'm not lying, listen to Tony Romo wax poetic about Zach Wilson. Let's go to the audio tape. Here it is.
I think you guys don't quite know how good this kid is. I think he is super rare. I think you're going to be watching, I think he's like a young Dan Marino. And for people, that are a little bit older who saw Marino when he came out in the 80s, people forget like Marino was the guy in the 80s. And then it morphed into Montana ended up winning all the Super Bowl stuff. But it was like, how Rodgers has all the talent stuff, right? And Brady's like Montana. And then Elway came on, right? I just think that Zach has rare ability, and that literally I've watched him in his first preseason game and like maybe 4 other plays. But I can see certain things, and he has a couple of special traits that God doesn't give those gifts to very many people. I think without knowing him, he's like what I think he is, a hard worker and cares and loves the sport. The ceiling is crazy high for this kid. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, crazy levels, which is saying a lot.
All right. That's one of the great sound bites we've heard in some time from Tony Romo. So let us discuss the question, how much stock does one put in to Zach Wilson getting the Tony Romo seal of approval, the blessing from Romo? So my thoughts, you've got all you can eat, Nick Saban, and cockroaches. And we will tie all of these things together. Now, a tip of the cap to Tony Romo for living up to his reputation and then some. For having only watched one exhibition game and a few other plays of Zach Wilson to immediately know this is the next Dan Marino and Patrick Mahomes. Now that is impressive. That's a skill. That's a talent that he has, a skill set that Romo has. Now, Romo, if you follow this at all, we love Romo, but his reputation precedes him. He is known for sugarcoating his analysis, especially of young quarterbacks. It's well known he is Mr. Positive Tony Romo, offering unconditional love while downplaying weaknesses and soft peddling any perceived limitations. So the verbosity of Tony Romo has no bounds, and you have to take this with a grain of salt. He is a smitten kitten about every young quarterback, and this infatuation, this fixation has really no bounds. No bounds. Head over heels in love with just about every quarterback. But this is a new level with Zach Wilson, the quarterback of the Jets. It's like Bob Arum. You think Bob Arum promoting a heavyweight bout, or Dana White in the UFC, and always swiping right, serving up an all-you-could-eat buffet of hyperbole. And Tony Romo doing that right here. Why not? Go for it. If you're going to endorse someone, go all the way. And it's cool because every year we get this story. This is a boilerplate story. Every year, Tony's going to be broadcasting for many, many years to come. And he is ready at a moment's notice, whoever the rookie flavor of the month is. He will whisper sweet nothings into an inquisitive reporter's tape recorder and go on and on and on. As a result, you take his player breakdowns as meaningless. It's reminiscent of John Gruden rhapsodizing in the Monday Night Football booth about every quarterback. And Romo's similar. I don't even think Romo's at John Gruden's level, but effusive in praise. Now, part B of this, for Zach Wilson, the Jets rookie quarterback, this is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it must feel great. It must feel wonderful when you think about this. The powerful people believe in you. What a great mitzvah that is. But on the other hand, it's disadvantageous because the New York media machine are ready to pounce. They are fully open the valve, gush, 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 gush. Give this man a bubble bath. And you have now commandeered the Jets, the long-suffering New York Jets. And you cannot sneak up on anyone, cannot happen. As Nick Saban likes to say, too much media praise is like rat poison. It's one of the great quotes of Nick Saban. Now, this creates unrealistic expectations, which I'm okay with because, hey, I'm a talk show host, and that's good because you meet those expectations or you do a faceplant, and then we can dance on your grave. But a byproduct of that is the perception of unfulfilled expectations. The Jets, even if they're a little better, they're still miserable. Right? Every few years, they change coaches, and every few years, they get a new quarterback. It is a revolving door, round and round and round and round. And the latest in center square is Zach Wilson. Now, keep in mind, we are actually optimistic that Zach Wilson will be a pretty good NFL quarterback. A pretty good NFL quarterback. Does that mean that Zach Wilson is going to be breathing the same air as Patrick Mahomes anytime soon? No, it doesn't. If Zach Wilson ends up being just an average NFL quarterback, he is Kirk Cousins. That's a win for the Jets because the last few quarterbacks they've developed or attempted to develop have been not even that level. And you think about Sam Darnold and Geno Smith come to mind, and you can't tell anything from the exhibition season, which makes it all the more amusing and all the greater that Tony Romo said, well, I've seen one exhibition game and a few other plays, and I'm already comparing him to Dan Marino, and he's got a gift from the gods, and going on and on and on and on and on. And it's akin, I know in baseball they do this a lot, where somebody will hit a bunch of home runs in the Grapefruit League or the Cactus League, and they will be anointed the next great slugger, and then once the lights get turned on, all of a sudden they can't hit. And they're great at 1 o'clock in Arizona or in Florida, but in a big league ballpark cannot do it. So we'll see what happens once the real games start and Zach has to handle facing live bullets. But it's all fun and games, right? Until someone loses an eye. It's all fun and games. No malice. No malice against Zach Wilson. We haven't spent much time talking about him because I think he'll be okay. It's more fun to talk about the other people that are going to be bad or could be bad or have a higher chance of sucking. All right, last word here. So let's spend a couple of good minutes discussing the comparison business. The comparison business for players. Now, this is normally something that happens around the NFL draft. In the lead up to the NFL draft, player X is compared to a legend of the game. It is a yearly ritual. It is typically, as I said, around the draft, but it's the perfect side hustle. It is a weasel's delight, is what it is. Now, you can throw literally and figuratively anything out into ethos and then watch as the cockroaches scurry around the floor and react to it. It's study consistent clickbait. And then the cool thing about it, the reason it's the perfect side hustle, is it's pushed aside and by most people forgotten. Most people have lives. Most people have things going on and cannot obsess over past statements. Now, it's on to the next. But some of the greats, now we have no life here. We do an overnight radio show. So some of the legendary comparisons, we've brought this up many times. Mel Kiper, who gets paid to be a draft analyst and has done this. He created that whole cottage industry of draftnik. And he compared Jamarcus Russell to John Elway when Jamarcus Russell was there and with the Raiders as the number one pick years ago. And Jamarcus was very similar to John Elway, except he couldn't play football. Sam Darnold, the last prodigy for the Jets, went back and looked at some of the scouting reports and things that were said about Sam Darnold. He was compared to Phillip Rivers, that he would have a career reminiscent of Phillip Rivers. The Chicago Bears traded up to get Mitch Trubisky, and he was tagged as a similar player to Alex Smith. That was a great comparison. Last season, the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, was tagged as either a Drew Brees or Russell Wilson doppelganger prior to the draft. Now, maybe that'll happen. Hadn't happened yet. Now, meanwhile, it wasn't just Tony Romo. Chris Collinsworth, he said, hey, can I get in? NBC had their call later in the day after Romo and CBS went first. And Collinsworth, he said, hey, I can hype too. He compared Zach Wilson to, wait for it, Aaron Rodgers. So in one 24-hour period, Zach Wilson has now been compared to Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, and Patrick Mahomes. Good luck. I think he's more like Mother Teresa, Gandhi, and the Dalai Lama. If they all got together and produced a prodigy, it would be Zach Wilson, unless that's not true, unless that's just bullcrap. It is the Ben Maller Show. If you would like to comment on that or anything else, You can join us here. Just have something to say. Try not to be boring. And there's no pressure to call. No pressure. We have plenty of things to discuss here. But if you would like to be part of the show, we'll open up the phone lines for you. And the number, you should know this already. It should be in your phone. It's not in your phone? All right. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369. This, of course, a wide-ranging, all-embracing, multifaceted radio show, unless it's not. But we will be barking in the overnight, howling at the moon all night. You can give us real-time feedback on Twitter. We used that during the show. We used to have, when Fox Sports Radio originated, the early days, we had this text message thing you could text into, but then Twitter started about 2009, I think 2010. So it's been over a decade we've been using mostly Twitter for feedback. But at Ben Maller. Follow me on there, and we might even read your message on the air. So you've heard the phrase, home is where the heart is. How about home is at the 50-yard line? What is that about? We'll get to it, and we will do it next.
Be sure to catch live editions of the Ben Maller Show weekdays at 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeartRadio app.
It's crazy how much we have to pay for outdated, impersonal healthcare, and even crazier that we all just accept it. It's time to face facts. Healthcare is backwards. Luckily, there's Forward, a new approach to primary care that's surprisingly personal and refreshingly straightforward. Forward never makes you feel like just another patient. Backed by top-rated doctors and the latest tech, Forward gives you access to personalized care whenever you need it. Using in-depth genetic analysis and real-time blood work, Forward's top-rated doctors provide you with in-depth insights to better understand your genetics, mental, and physical health. They then create custom, easy-to-understand plans to help guide you to achieving long-term health. With Forward, you get unlimited in-person visits with your doctor and access to care anytime via the Forward app, all for one flat monthly fee. It's time to stop accepting backwards healthcare and start moving your health forward. Visit GoForward.com today to learn more. That's GoForward.com.
Hey, it's Ben Maller. The best athletes know that your championship body isn't built in a day. The same is true when it comes to your long-term financial goals. M1 Finance gives you all the tools you need to grow your wealth without charging any management fees, so you can strategize for the end game. Build a custom portfolio or choose one that's pre-made, then automate your everyday money moves and use your extra time to watch the highlights. M1 lets you borrow against your portfolio at super low rates, so you can pull money out for season tickets without putting your retirement strategy on pause. Borrowing involves higher risk, including the risk to lose more than deposited, and rates may vary. Visit m1finance.com/Ben Maller. That's M1 with the number 1 to sign up and see why Money, Investopedia, and Yahoo Finance are raving about M1. Then get a $30 bonus for depositing your first $1,000 after approval. Terms and conditions apply. Investing involves risk, including the risk of loss. M1 Finance, member FINRA SIPC. M1 Borrow, available on margin accounts with at least $5,000 invested. Not available for all account types.
Hey, it's Wilmer Valderrama from Essential Voices with Wilmer Valderrama Podcast. Lo siguiente es un mensaje de State Farm. Some stories deserve to be told. Incredible, but totally true stories. Stories that we knew nothing about, but that now we want to know everything about. Stories that were invisible but have found a way to travel from ear to ear. Stories that captivate us, move us, and even teach us. Stories that used to be secret but that are now a podcast. State Farm celebrates the fact that those stories can now be enjoyed by all. And that's why we want to share a bit of information that we can all enjoy as well. State Farm has surprisingly great rates on car insurance. Yes, for real. If you need to insure your car, don't hesitate to talk to a State Farm agent and take a look at the solutions that match your needs. It's easy. For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, como un buen vecino, State Farm está ahí.
We believe in the power of the people, and the Maller Militia get the most out of the Ben Maller Show listening experience by adding your touch. Take a few seconds to follow your host on Twitter. He's at Ben Maller. And you can tweet at and follow me, Eddie Garcia, your humble sidekick, the voice of reason. If you stick around for the entire show in the final hour, I'll talk hockey with you with Puck the World. And now live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, it's Ben Maller.
Charlie in San Antonio writes in, he says, I do not like the way you were talking to St. Romo. Romo can walk on water and turn water into wine. So if he says Zach Wilson is the next Dan Marino, then he is the next Dan Marino, just like when he said, let there be light and gifted us the sun. That was very generous of Tony to give us the sun. In fact, one of the reasons there's been so much rain this week is because Tony said that let there be rain. And the storm of the ages has come sweeping through the United States. James the Machinist says he's like Aaron Rodgers. I, for one, look forward to Zach Wilson becoming a diva, as it would give Jets fans something to talk about besides next year's draft. The Aussie guy says, great monologue, big man. I'd love for these guys to be my analyst in the bedroom. The Aussie guy has the largest blank I've ever seen. He's the next John Holmes. Oh, you're like a historian. You're going old school, Aussie guy. That's old school reference right there. The Midnight Walker from the Twin Cities says, excellent monologue, Ben. Comparisons to Marino and Mahomes, rarefied air. Indeed, I can understand you being skeptical, but that's the beauty of sports. We won't know until the pigskins fly, and I can't wait. Yeah. All right. Well, Zach Wilson hasn't sucked yet. He will at some point. Terry in England says, Ben, in the same spirit as Tony Romo, I'd like to make a similar prediction. Brian Finley has the ability to go on to become Walter Cronkite.
Who?
Does that mean he's going to die? Because I think, that's an accurate. Well, Cronkite's not around anymore, so yeah. And there's a school, the journalism school at Arizona State. Isn't that named after him? I believe I'm correct on that. I think I'm right on that. Ralphie boy says, Wreck-It Ralph, miss that guy. Hope he's back soon. So do I. How about next week? I think next week would be a great week to have Wreck-It Ralph on the show. Can someone reach out to Ralph? Did we ever get that blooper? We never played the blooper. Can we find that quickly? Can we try to find the Wreck-It Ralph blooper? The great Ralph Irvin, our colleague. Now, we don't like to highlight mistakes because that would be wrong to do that, but I do enjoy a good radio blooper. So the boys are going to try to find that. We'll have to play it as soon as they find it. Big Rig Rob from the highways and byways of the Evergreen State says, Ben, I haven't heard a man praise another man so proudly since Jerry Jones said he wanted some glory hole. Zach Wilson is no Dan Marino. This monologue made me laugh. Good job by you, Benbino. A+ tonight, my man. And, of course, as always, F. Altuve, which is the proper way to sign off on the show. The burner account says, Benjamin, it is simple. Tony Romo is dating Zach Wilson's mom. I'm only surprised he didn't say Zach reminds him of a younger him, seeing that he wants to be his stepdad. Settle down, Romo. B+ on the monologue
Homosexual.
From the burner account. We need to put all of these together. We need to put all of these wild statements Tony Romo makes together in like a sizzle reel. That'd be great. 00 Mexican in San Diego says B- on the monologue. They must have interviewed Romo while he was in Cabo doing tequila shots, or he's just sucking up to Zach Wilson's mom, and Collinsworth is just a douche, according to 00 the Mexican. Milkman Mike in Colorado says, great opening monologue. Do you think Romo will show up Zach Wilson's to his front porch with flowers and a box of chocolates? We can only hope. We can only hope. All right, so I mentioned the tease. Home is where the heart is. How about home at the 50-yard line? Did you see Dateline Chicago, a well-known entertainer wanted to move his actual childhood home into Soldier Field, was planning on rebuilding his childhood home, moving it to Soldier Field, Chicago, in an amazing, wild, and crazy demonstration. But he was refused permission by the city of Chicago. They would not allow him It's a guy to move his childhood home to Soldier Field. Eddie Garcia, do you want to take a guess? Someone in entertainment, someone of prominence, someone you should probably know in pop culture wanted to put his childhood home at the 50-yard line in the home of the Chicago Bears. Maybe not the 50, maybe it was the end zone, but it was in the stadium. So in my head, it's the 50-yard line.
I'm trying to think celebrity Chicago Bears fans. Somebody probably should be coming to mind, but isn't. Okay. I know there's a lot of celebrity Cub fans.
Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi.
He was a celebrity sort of at one point.
Well, in the 1970s, he was a big 80s.
Yeah. Or John Belushi.
Bill Murray.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. That would be something. Bill Murray's a good one.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Bill Murray. I don't know that he's a Bears fan, though. I know he likes the Bulls and the Cubs. I'm not sure if he's a Bears fan, but...
Yeah,
I can't think of any, like, a single Bears fan. So I was just naming Chicago
there's
people.
There's got to be one I'm thinking of.
Isn't it the fat guy from Curb Your Enthusiasm, Jeff Garland?
I thought he was a Philly guy.
No, he's a Chicago guy.
Okay.
I ran into him at a Dodger game wearing a Cubs jersey when the Cubs were playing the Dodgers years ago. So he's a Cub guy. So I think he's from Chicago, or he spent time there.
Vince Vaughn.
I think that's not bad. I think Austin Kutcher is a Bears fan. I don't know why that's popping.
Yeah, he is.
Right. Well, you're all wrong. The city of Chicago denying Kanye West permission to put his childhood home at Soldier Field.
There's a stable mind that
I don't. Did he grow up? I guess
had no idea he was from
born,
Chicago.
He was born in Atlanta, but moved with his mother to Chicago. I guess in his when he was a child. So he did grow up in Chicago. But yeah, I guess he's been traveling around doing some performances, and he thought it would be a good idea to build his home, put his home at Soldier Field, and the city of Chicago said, "Well, that's not a good idea. You can't do that." And you can't put it at the center of the stadium. So instead, what they did, they compromised and they built a replica of Kanye West's childhood home.
Oh, so this was for his concert at Soldier Field?
I
see.
Yeah. So according to the Chicago Sun-Times there, the plan was to bring his actual home there, but instead they had to build a replica.
Can you imagine what they would have to do to put someone's house in the stadium?
A couple of helicopters to carry it over the stadium.
Giant cranes.
Yeah. I have not been to Chicago in a few years, but I remember when I was there, a long time ago. Yeah, Chicago's a great city during the summer. But I remember when I was in Chicago last time, and it was like so long ago, it was before Soldier Field had been renovated. And the inside of Soldier Field looks great. But it looks like a spaceship on the outside.
It is. You're 100% right. It's odd looking on the outside, but inside it's really nice. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. So you would go back to Chicago?
Absolutely.
You love the pizza. The people are very nice there. It's wonderful. And now try going there in February, in January, and see what you think.
I'm good.
No? All right.
Be sure to catch live editions of the Ben Maller Show weekdays at 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Hey, this is Jason McIntyre. Join me every weekday morning on my podcast, Straight Fire with Jason McIntyre. This isn't your typical sports pod pushing the same tired narratives down your throat every day. Straight Fire gives you honest opinions on all the biggest sports headlines, accurate stats to help you win big at the sportsbook, and all the best guests. Do yourself a favor and listen to Straight Fire with Jason McIntyre on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by Disney Plus. Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus? Stream all your favorites with the Disney Bundle. Disney Plus has Loki and Luca. On Hulu, watch originals like American Horror Story and 9 Perfect Strangers. And ESPN Plus has every match of Spain's thrilling La Liga. Get the Disney Bundle today for only $13.99. Includes Hulu ad-supported plan. Access content from each service separately. Terms apply. See thedisneybundle.com for details.
I want to get back to being in my community group.
I want to continue having a soccer season.
So I can throw parties again.
So I can go to her parties.
It'd really be nice to dine in instead of getting delivery for a change.
So I can feel safe and protected for myself and my students.
We each have our own reason for why we're getting vaccinated against COVID-19. What will yours be? Visit GetVaccineAnswers.org for information on the COVID-19 vaccines. It's up to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The stories that are affecting the Black community are being covered on the Black Information Network. Not a show or a podcast, BIN is a 24/7 news network covering stories from a Black perspective. Listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app and get news for and by the Black community. Anywhere, anytime. Keeping you informed, keeping you engaged. The Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
You got to love the New York Mets. More news involving the Mets, who, of course, had a lot of headlines with their thumbs down player, signs to the fans, whatever the hell that was. Now, general manager Zach Scott arrested on suspicion of DUI Tuesday morning.
Wait a minute. Listen, how many PSAs must I do from NHTSA? And this bozo's out there drinking and driving. Still a bad job by him.
Well, yeah, it's kind of easy to spot them when they fall asleep at the wheel and the car is running.
Didn't Tony La Russa do that?
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. We used to have audio of that, by the way, of the cop tapping on the window.
We don't have it anymore?
I don't know if we do, but that was some good audio.
There was another guy. There was a football player for, was it the Cardinals? Some guy in Arizona.
Their general manager, I think, has got popped for a DUI. Yeah.
So Zach Scott, I understand he was out at a social event at the owner's house in Connecticut, and he was driving back.
Yeah, I said he got popped in White Plains, New York. I've heard of White Plains, New York. I've never been there, though.
That's where they bottle the beer.
That's where all the people live that work in the
imported
city.
beer is bottled there.
Yeah? Is that right?
I think you're right, Roberto. I think that's where I've heard of it, in a commercial.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
White Plains, New York,
Yep.
blah, 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 blah.
No. Well, that's good advertising.
It is, actually.
You can't name the beer, though. Which beer was it? Was it...
It's probably more than one, but anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Zach Scott, who I'm going to go out on a limb and say he will not be the permanent Mets general manager.
Yeah, he's the interim GM. That's right. So good
help.
job by him. That'll go well on the resume.
This will not help his status in that regard, I believe. All right, it is the Ben Maller Show on Fox. Let's go to the phones. And we will say hello to Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. Let's say hi to Boomerang in Indy. Hello, Boomerang.
Hey, Ben, long-time listener, first-time caller, bud. How's it going?
Well, thank you. I like that you have a nickname. I feel that overnight sports talk radio callers should have a nickname. I prefer a nickname, so I'm glad that you are known as the Boomerang. Now, why are you known as...
That's my CB handle, bub.
Oh,
I'm a truck driver.
Okay. All right. That's cool. I see the Boomerang. And are you a local truck driver, or you drive all over the place?
No, sir. I go all over. I'm on my way out of Indianapolis, headed up here to Chicago. Speaking of Chicago, so.
Okay. So you can go by Soldier Field there and see where Kanye West wanted to put his house, right in the middle there of Soldier Field. So very exciting.
Yes,
all right.
sir.
What's on your mind here, Boomerang?
Man, I want to talk about Zach Wilson. The New York Jets are going to fail that young man just because of who they have is Woody Johnson as the owner and Joe Douglas as the general manager. Joe Douglas Darnold by not getting him any help. He let Robbie Anderson walk and go to Carolina. So, I mean, Zach Wilson still doesn't have any weapons. Mekhi Becton can't protect him every play. There's no offensive line. There's no running back help. That young man's going to be running for his life every play. I'm telling you, it ain't going to work.
Well, what about Robert Saleh, the new coach, the prodigy from the 49ers? What about him?
Yeah, that's great. You can have a great coach if you don't have any help. Look at New England. They have a great coach. They didn't have any help.
See, I'm not as down. Like, the Jets are going to be bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to be good, but they were trying to lose last year. They were intentionally attempting to try to get the number one pick. And Trevor Lawrence, it would be appropriate because the Jets really wanted Trevor Lawrence. Everyone was like, we need Trevor Lawrence. And so many people were bummed out when they won those games at the end of the year. They played okay, and then they lost the number one pick to Jacksonville. And wouldn't it be just something if Trevor Lawrence turns out to be not that good and Zach Wilson turns out to be pretty good? But I believe that proper coaching can cover up a lot of inferior second-rate players. So if Robert Saleh is a good coach, and I have no proof that he is other than the fact that TV loved to show him because he was like a cartoon character bouncing around the sidelines for the 49ers, that if this guy knows what he's doing, then you can polish turds as a coach, and you can get them to be marginally effective. So anyway.
All right. I guess.
All right. Well, be careful out there, Boomerang. Call more often. All right. Well, you've called once, so you've broken the ice. You've done that. You've accomplished that. Man, oh, man. All right, yeah, it's Ben Maller Show. We'll keep it going here. Who do we have next? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's say hello to Blind Scott. Blind Scott is on the north end of Boston. He has been under siege in recent days. Hello, Blind Scott.
Oh, no, I haven't been under siege. I reached out to that bonehead. He's crying over nothing, Seabass. He's salty, man. You can't do fishing for a man. All you can do is teach a man how to fish, you know? I'm not a miracle worker. My name's not Ann Mansfield Sullivan. You don't call up here and talk about off-air, off-air conversations.
Now, Blind Scott, now hold on a second. Now, he wanted to get in the octagon with you. Would you be willing to settle this? Man to man.
No, because I'm not gonna bash some blind guy that's bitter about being blind. He's all angry.
I sit down when I pee.
He needs to work that out on his own. The guy has serious issues, and they're not with Blind Scott. They're with himself. It's between his ears. You know what I mean?
All right. So you're taking shots at him, but why not just get in the octagon? It's like a 3-minute bit, and you can settle it right there.
Terrible. I feel terrible about it after. You know what I mean? It's not,
wait, Scott, did you get a conscience all of a sudden here? What happened here, Blind Scott?
There's no win here. There's no win here with this. You know, I put down a blind guy that's in need of some help that I'm not giving him because God knows, what type of help does he even need? What is Blind Scott going to do for him anyways? You know, I told him to contact these commissions for the blinds. I put him in touch with information on schools he could go to.
All right, for those that don't know, hold on, stop, hold on. For those that are just tuning in and saying, what is this about? What is this craziness? So we have a caller in Nashville named Blind Seabass who needed help. He became blind a few years ago, and Blind Scott offered to help him, and then Blind Seabass in Nashville disappeared. He called back recently, and he claimed that Blind Scott is a shyster and did not help him out.
I reached out to him and called him. I messaged him. He never got back to me or anything. He's jealous of Blind Scott. He's another one trying to ride the Blind Scott coattails. The guys at 7-Eleven said, there's some guy from the South that keeps talking about you on the radio. I go, yeah, people from the South are whacked. He lives, and one thing I said is, you live out in the middle of nowhere in some real desolate place. Nobody can even get you. That ain't a place for a blind person. You don't live out in the sticks if you're blind and then say, hey, can somebody come help me? Blind Scott, this is right for me. My ex-wife hates me.
Well, now you're getting personal. So you said you didn't want to do that, and now you're getting personal. So why not get into the octagon? The longer you talk, the more and more you're throwing mud.
I'll be in the octagon any time with this boo, but it's not about being blind. He has personal hatred for me that has nothing to do with blindness whatsoever. It has to do with his drinking problem, his salty.
All right. Listen, I'll book it. I'm going to book it for next week. We'll have the all-blind octagon, Blind Scott, Blind Seabass, blind on blind, and we will see who the king of the blind octagon will turn out to be. So don't vanish, Blind Scott. I know in the past we've had you set up for these things and you end up vanishing, so don't do that. That would be a bad job by you. Time now for the Who Am I game. We'll have the MLB Pick'em coming up in a couple of minutes, but here's the Who Am I game. I am the quarterback who owns the NFL's worst record against the spread in starts, in games I've started, obviously, since 2001. That's minimum 30 starts. So anybody below that, just eliminate them from the conversation. But I am the quarterback who owns the NFL's worst record over the last 20 years against the spread. That's since 2001, minimum 30 starts. Minimum 30 starts. Who am I? The answer next.
Fox Sports Radio has the best sports talk lineup in the nation. Catch all of our shows at foxsportsradio.com. And within the iHeartRadio app, search FSR to listen live.
Nothing good happens after midnight unless you listen to the Ben Maller Show. Join the fastest growing club on Fox Sports Radio. You can follow your host on Twitter. He's at Ben Maller. And you can also follow him on Facebook, facebook.com/Ben Maller Show. On Instagram, it's at Ben Maller on Fox. And you can add your touch to weekly show bits like Ask Ben coming up in the third hour of this show and Lame Jokes coming up tomorrow. And now live in the Fox Sports Radio studios, it's Ben Maller.
The Maller Mute says Wreck-It Ralph does not make bloopers. He creates content. We have not been able to find that Ralph blooper.
No, do you know when that was? I don't know when that was.
Well, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
What time?
Final hour of the show. Final update of the show.
Yeah.
What show?
Maybe, Eddie, you can find it.
The show before ours.
Oh, okay.
The Jason Smith show with Mike Harmon. Or the Mike Harmon show with Jason Smith.
Yeah,
I don't know which one, but yeah. Anyway.
Who?
Rob the Goat Man in Iowa says the reason everyone has heard of White Plains is because that's where a ton of as seen on TV products come from.
There you go.
Is that accurate?
I knew it was something like that.
What's the name? Anthony Cervezas Mexicanas. Mexican beers come from imported to their
White Plains.
Yeah, and then they distribute everywhere else to the U.S. In the U.S.
All right. Inca Terror ripping Blind Scott. He's blind, by the way, Inca Terror. He says, what? Blind Scott doesn't want to insult a blind guy. Didn't he trash the fifth judge in the last talent show? What a chicken, he says. Just Josh in Cincinnati also taking some pot shots at Blind Scott. Travis B says the sports call quota has been filled for the night with Boomerang, our caller. That is accurate. We're good on that. Time now for the Who Am I game. John. Now, here's the Who Am I game. For those of you that have not been following along, a blatant attempt to get you to listen a little longer. I am the quarterback who owns the NFL's worst record against the spread since the start of the 2001 season. That's a minimum of 30 starts. So if you had bet on this particular player, you would have lost an S-load of money. The Malamutes going with Matthew Stafford. Let's see here. Bo Benson's listing. He says Marcel from Brooklyn is the answer. Well, Marcel, there's mutual admiration.
F-.
Yeah, F- Bo. That's your new nickname, F- Bo. That is right. Who else do we have? Jeff Blauser from Mr. Nice Guy. Let's see. Page down here. Nick Foles from Miguel on Fire. Dale Earnhardt Jr., guessed by Rich. Road Warrior Hawk, tossed out by Rob in Vegas. Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. See, I'm old school. To me, Linda Carter is Wonder Woman. And
yeah, baby.
When I think Superman, TV Superman, it's Adam West. Movie Superman.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Dude, Adam
West is Batman.
Dude.
Oh, Batman. I screwed that up. No, I was thinking of the Superman. Who's the Christopher Reeve? That's who I was thinking of. The movie Superman, Christopher Reeve. TV, not so much. I got my superheroes mixed up. Dean Cain. There you go. Jason in Denver says Jay Cutler is the answer. Militia Twitter King goes with the BTK killer as his answer. He's going through all the serial killers. Do you have an answer, Eddie, please?
Oh, yes. It's Devlin Duck Hodges.
Oh, the great Duck Hodges.
Did he make the Rams, by the way?
What's that?
Did
Duck
he
Hodges?
make the Rams roster?
I don't think he did. The correct answer, Eddie, is Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy, who I think is still in the NFL as a backup in Arizona, I want to say. 9-20-1 in games started by Colt McCoy. That's a .317 winning percentage. Second worst in the last 20 years, Sam Darnold, the starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, a .382 winning percentage against the spread. And now, time for the MLB Pick'em Daily Fantasy. And we don't have a lot of time for small talk, so let's get right into it. And Koopaloop will be going first.
And I added up the scores, and Eddie did win that pick, so we're all tied with 16 wins.
No,
yeah, he did win that day.
I don't think he did. I think that's wrong.
I don't think he won either.
No, he did. With my first pick, I'm going to go with Shane McClanahan.
Wow.
I guess.
Wow.
I mean, it's kind of a rough day for pitching.
That's a tough pick. Roberto.
I'll go with Logan Webb.
Oh, that's a giant.
Yeah.
You picked
the best pitcher they have.
All right, I think this guy's still pitching. Sean Manaea of the A's. I think he's going to be pitching. I'll take.
Yeah.
I'll
We're
take
out of time, anyways.
All right, go ahead.
I don't think he is.
Oh, I was next. Oh, well, you took too long. We didn't get it in.
Wander Franco.
J.D. Martinez and
Freddie
Patrick
Freeman.
Wisdom. Patrick Wisdom of the Cubs.
Rafael Devers.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
If you love trivia, if you love the hugely popular Stuff You Should Know podcast, then the Trivial Pursuit game, Stuff You Should Know edition, is for you. With 600 questions, weird and unbelievable trivia in categories like myths, legends, and conspiracies. SYSK selects a mix of topics handpicked by podcast hosts Josh and Chuck. Get the Trivial Pursuit game, Stuff You Should Know edition today, wherever you get your favorite board game.
I
want to get back to kissing the cheeks of my grandbabies, making Sunday dinner with a house full of family and lots of laughs.
COVID-19 has changed how we live and how we feel. But now, there are vaccines. And they are the very first step that let us get back to what we miss most. It's okay to have questions.
Is it safe?
Should I wait? Now, get the facts. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision when vaccines are available to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council.